Our guest is Dr. Alex Obiogbolu, who is the special advisor to Governor Chukwuma Charles Soludo of Anambra State. He's the advisor, the special advisor on political matters. And he's been telling us why, well, he's been giving us an account of the stewardship of the governor. And I've asked him a number of questions. Viewers have been wanting to call in. So let me start off with Mazi Okorafo. Are you on?
Yes, I'm on from Aruchuku in Abia State.
Very good, sir. Good morning to you. Go right ahead. What's your question or contribution?
Yeah, good morning, sorry, good morning, I guess. Yes, well, first of all, let me congratulate the governor and my brother to the studio, at least, Pastor Amesi. Now, the governor has tried, at least, for solving that problem of that Insoma, that issue, at least. The way he handled it is what we call the job of a technocrat, an educated young governor. At least he tried in handling that case. That is number one. And number two, the governor should try as much as possible. This issue of sit-at-home issue is what is being which is not good. They should find a solution and to bring a last solution. And he has tried to. The education, this one is we call it scholarship. I will not call it scholarship. At least he followed the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That a child from grade secondary school, whether you are from Igbo, Yoruba, outside, no matter your tribe, that you are qualified to go to school in Anambra State free of charge. That is FOC. It's a way to promote package, which I want other governors from other 35 states from Abuja to borrow or to copy. Agree that they can at least what to do with education, at least any child who don't want to go to that is home business. Any family who don't want to send his child to go to school, that is home business. I think the government. And this Niger bridge. Honestly speaking, the way of this abracadabra, pickpocket, this and that is very, very alarming. Government should find a lasting solution. It's very embarrassing. You finish your day, you're trying to cross that bridge, you saw this before you talk to Robinson. You have collected whatever you have and sit at home. Honestly speaking, we want a lasting solution to it now or never. Good morning, my brothers. I think it's still our greeting to the government that God bless him and everybody. Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much, Mazi Okorafo. Dr. Alex Obiogbolu, what would be your rejoinder to that? General commendation, but this whole matter of sit at home, is it an intractable problem?
Well, the sit at home, security is good, but there's what they call the perceptive angle. The citizen must feel safe. And that is what we are working on. Because over time, once they see that these incidences of criminality have reduced and are various minima, you will see people begin to move. Well, I'll tell you something. In Anambra State today, honestly, you need to come visit. There's free movement on Mondays. People move around on Mondays. The only issue is that the banks have not opened and the markets are not open. The big markets, small markets are open. If you go to the villages, the urban areas, the small markets, the food vegetable markets are open on Mondays. It's just that the big markets are not open. And that is because of the leadership of those markets. And what the government is trying to do is not to do this top-to-bottom approach where you give orders and they must be obeyed. We want them to take their time and understand that this thing has come to stay, that there's security and that the state is no longer under the siege of these young criminals that thought that they were the government on their own. So that is what I'll tell you.
Okay.
As far as it comes to Anambra, he'll see a free movement of people.
Okay. Now, another feature of Anambra, it just occurred to me that also is going to needs addressing, and I can sort of ask you on a progress report on that, is this whole matter of soil erosion. It has been devastating in some areas. What are the possibilities? Is this a natural phenomenon that you can't do very much, if anything, about? Or what efforts have been expended in that direction of stemming the challenge of soil erosion in Anambra?
Well, the problem about erosion is not man-made. This is what we find because of the soil type we have in Anambra, and it's been a big problem. It's continued to take over arable land. And of course, remember that Anambra State is comparable to Lagos. We are the smallest states in Nigeria, and we have the highest population density. And the erosion itself is further driving us into high density population. Now, when you look at the way buildings are erected in Anambra, you see 4 or 5-story buildings, which are in demand. It's because of the small size area we have in the state. So what we've done is to deal with erosion are 2 types: the preventive, where tree planting, education is necessary, that the government has been doing. But in terms of dealing with it, it's so cost-consuming that we need the federal government presence. And that is why the governor invited the minister, even the previous administration has continued to appeal to the federal government to come to our aid. Because you're having landslides with erosion, it's consuming roads. Cutting off roads, the road infrastructure is also going under. And of course, people's homes, livelihoods, farms are being lost to these erosions. And it's a work in progress. We continue to appeal to the federal government to come in and see how they can help to deal with these things.
Okay.
Have the ecological fund, which is a federal government intervention fund. And what we're appealing is that we should be able to get this ecological fund to help us in our states.
Okay. Let me bring on Chidi, who has called in from Kafanchan. Good morning, Chidi.
Good morning, Chief Yuri.
Thank you for calling in, sir.
Good morning to your guest as well.
Okay.
Yes, I wish to commend Professor Charles Soludo on his good stewardship to the people of Anambra State since his inception as the governor of the state. And I also remember that at the time he took over effectively as the governor of the state, he made moves to ensure that Nnamdi Kanu, a Nigerian citizen who has been in custody over the years, was released. I want to remind him and encourage him to work in line with other Southeastern governors and every other stakeholder in the project Nigeria to ensure that Nnamdi Kanu is released as quickly as possible. I strongly want to believe that if Nnamdi Kanu is unconditionally released, a lot of peace that we are looking for will come the way of Nigeria and particularly Anambra State. God bless you and God bless Nigeria.
Well, thank you very much, Chidi. Would you like to comment on that? It was an issue that was going to come up inevitably. What would be your response to that?
Yes, Chidi spoke the mind of Ndigbo. He spoke the mind of our governor. Our governor had, as far back as 2022, rather 2023 this year in January, made that remark, public demand for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Remember before then, they had visited him in detention, they had spoken with him, they had exchanged ideas, and he came out and started dealing with those ideas. That was part of how he was able to combat the insecurity of the non-government, because Nnamdi Kanu denounced them, said they did not represent what he represented and did not represent the wish of an Igbo man. So what has been happening since then is a lot of backhouse dealing. The governor is not making noise about it. He's getting to the right sources. He's also engaging his colleagues in the Southeast and also his colleagues in other states, parts of Nigeria, because it's a collective thing. Whatever is our problem is your problem. And that is the way he continues to push that message. And we are very optimistic that in the near future, very near future, the President of the Republic of Nigeria will hearken to our appeals, because that appeal has been directed to the President of the country. In Constitution, where we are with the courts have asked that he be released, and he's still been held.
Okay. Now, again, let me just return to the whole matter of infrastructure and its role in development. I think some high-ranking official from Anambra was speaking recently and was, comparing. First of all, you've spoken to us about it being the second smallest state in the country, and he sort of related that to Lagos. And as you know, Lagos is making strides, such as Anambra itself intends to make. And he has spoken about rail, and this is something that Anambra itself has its eye on in the Is it ongoing, or is it a very short-term kind of a plan? Talk to me about that, because there's from what I'm reading, there's every intention to take Anambra also into a 21st century state and economy.
Yeah, just like what we're doing in various sectors. In terms of transportation, we're trying to make sure that we have the best infrastructure in place that will take care of the next 50 years. Because, you know, Anambra has a 2070 plan. And part of our plan is that by 2070, Anambra will have been the industrial capital of Nigeria. Anambra will be the economic hub of Nigeria, overtaking Lagos. And in doing that, we need infrastructure, especially in terms of transport. So whilst we're looking at the road infrastructure, we're building on it, we're also preparing the rail infrastructure. A feasibility study was done that said it was feasible, and right now, government is looking at how to put this in place. We're looking at the cost, we're looking at the route, and we're looking at the different lines, and also how to make this sustainable and profitable for the government. So these are things the government is looking at right now. And again, when you look at the infrastructure, we're looking at water transportation. Already, government has procured water vessels that will be able to commute farmers and residents in the hinterland who live along the river, especially from Oguipele, Osomala, all the way to Opala and Odepe in Anambra West. So that is what government is also doing. So these things are in place. We want to have an integrated transport system that involves rail, road, and water.
Indeed. Now, every state has its own, I would imagine, but talk to me a bit about the Okpoko, shall we call it, and the slum, the suburb slum that exists in there. I know the attention of government must be on it, but sort of give us a progress report because it seems to be a very, very bad situation.
Well, Okpoko is a work in progress, and the interesting thing about it, and it's nice to note, that even the citizens are appreciating what government is doing. What the government was trying to do was do 3 in 1. Deal with insecurity, deal with environment, and be able to reintegrate these persons back into the mainstream of the society. Because it was really a slum. And there was no road infrastructure, there was no toilet facility, no sanitation, there was no light. So what we've done now is we've opened up 14.9 kilometers of road. We've also, for the first time, they're receiving health service. There's a general hospital that's been, as I'm talking to you now, is ongoing, a general hospital. Of course, all the 16 primary healthcare centers within that local government is also being refurbished right now with solar power to power the equipment in the healthcare system, the healthcare center, with also water boreholes have been sunk there. And government has just also approved for water reticulation in Okpoko. So we're building a system, water system for them that will be reticulated around the whole place. And also there's an entertainment system. We are building a sports center for them, recreational sports center for them. So these are the 3 major things we've done now: hospital, the water, and the recreational center.
Okay, I imagine that will be addressing the air pollution issue there too, which is said to be off the charts. But let me not keep Charles in Minna waiting any longer. In spite of those efforts, I still lost Charles, who had called in from Minna. But I was saying that the air pollution in Okpoko is said to be off the charts, so much so that it is being reported even from across Nigerian borders in the West. So I guess what you spoke about would also encompass efforts in that direction as well.
Well, the Ministry of Environment, in fact, this morning, the House of Assembly, the new law on that has just been read, the first reading in the House of Assembly. The government has sent in an executive bill that wants to address holistically all the issues we have with the environment in terms of erosion, in terms of air pollution, water pollution, sanitation, and then, of course, protecting our drainage systems. So that's a comprehensive bill that has just been read for the first time in the House of Assembly today, this morning.
Well, all that you've been speaking to us about, it seems to me that whoever wants to come in there, I mean, the governor is incumbent, he's, ready to work at it. In fact, he wants more time at it if the electorate will give it to him. But with opposition parties saying that they still see much more. They still see much more to do. I guess that is the way it is. It doesn't matter how much has been done, which that has been done. Opposition will say that there's more to be done. Now, you are not opposition to yourselves. Could I ask you then, in closing, what are the areas that Governor Soludo has penned down for attention, but since all things can't be done at once, that people should look forward to in terms of progress and development in Anambra?
Well, you see, the truth about it is that you can't finish all the work. There's so much work. As you solve one, new problems emerge. That's the truth. The second one is the fact that the government has focused on its 5 pillars: law and order, infrastructure, which we're handling in terms of economic indicators, giving our people the economic largesse and support to be able to be better for themselves, to do better for themselves. Now, these things have been done in the first 2 years of his administration. And he will tell you that it's a tenure with a deadline. We have 4 years. We're not talking about re-election. We have 4 years, we made promises, and we are ticking off on each promise we made and making sure it works. Like I'll give you, next year, there's a plan to make compulsory. Every child must have compulsory education. What does it mean? It means that if you don't put your child in school, you've committed a crime. Next year, we want to do where philanthropists, good nurtured men, good-hearted men can take over schools. They can take over schools and manage schools. So it's not just government alone. The public can also come in. The private sector can also come in and help. But essence is that it must be free education in our public schools, primary and junior secondary. Now, these are plans. You can see in terms of entertainment, we want to make it a livable place where you can come in and enjoy. We have what you call the Solution Fund that we hope to deliver by December of next year, fully functional, where you have a water park, you have a country house, you have amusement park, where people can come in and relax. In Oka, in the center of the city. Of course, we also want to develop a 5-star hotel. So these are things, because with the 5-star hotel and the International Conference Center we have and our airport, of course you know that Anambra will now become a destination of choice where people come to hold conferences all over from the country. They come and try, because then we'll have had a secure state and we'll have a state where you can come in and have a good time while doing business.
And
so these are things that we're planning. As I said, it's a 4-year project. After 4 years, we can go back and apply, and we believe that our handwork, what we have set out, the outcome of what we've set out, will be enough to get us under 4 years.
And speaking about the airport, I believe it was named after the illustrious Nigerian author Chinua Achebe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it is correct.
Yes, because it was said at the time that, quite frankly, no matter how hard you sort of search, nobody is as deserving, especially that you have somebody from in the Anambra stock for that honor, the airport. In fact, there's also an effort to, I think you're inviting the federal government in to work on the international aspect of its name, because it's the Chinua Achebe International Airport for both cargo and passenger, if I'm right.
Yes. Yes, correct.
And is the federal government, are they encouraging? Are they, have they shown interest that you have?
The state government, through the Ministry of Transport, has been engaging them, and the engagement is ongoing and is bearing fruit, and we're very hopeful that at the end of the day, we will be able to meet all that is required to make it an international cargo and passenger airport.
Indeed. Has it started, just in closing, has it started, I mean, can people actually land there, or is this a work still in progress?
No, people have been landing.
Okay, okay.
Even before the present administration. It was sometime in late 2021 that the first aircraft, there was an Air Peace passenger
my bad.
that landed there.
My bad. I should have known better. So I can actually fly into Anambra now. Although
Abuja, Lagos flights are there right now.
Indeed. I want to thank you very much for your time, Dr. Alex, for coming in. Dr. Alex, thank you very much for coming on. You know, and I wish you all the best. Okay, so that's our program today. Thank you very much for being with us. So that's our program today. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Iyori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.